I remember Christmas as a kid, and we had one Christmas tree. We had some homemade cookies. Sometimes we popped popcorn, and we made Christmas, what do you call that? Rope to decorate the tree. You know, where you strung the popcorn on the thread. You know, we'd just get a needle and thread. And, it was simple. Christmas was so simple. And now I go through the stores, like I was in Hobby Lobby the other day, and like there's these themed Christmas trees. Like, who does that? Like, now everybody wants more than one tree in their house, and they have to be themed. And I don't know if I could have done it when I was raising my kids. Life was hectic enough at Christmas. It was hectic with the kids being in school and all the activities. It was busy. And then, most of us were working, at least part-time. I had a business I ran from home, but I was very demanding. I worked for 5 doctors at that time, and contract work, and it was super busy. I just don't understand how these gals can do it. So if you're a young mom, kudos to you, because I mean these are different times. It was definitely simpler back then, I feel like. But maybe I'm just romanticizing my childhood. I mean, from the time when I raised my kids, it was very different than when I was a child. But I think it was still pretty simple. It was pretty simple. We had one tree in the house. We didn't have Elf on a Shelf. Who came up with Elf on a Shelf? I mean, like these moms aren't busy enough and dads aren't busy enough that now there's Elf on the Shelf. I have some friends who do that Elf on the Shelf, and I'm not sure. I've got to check with my daughter. I'm not sure if my granddaughter's she's 4. I have to see if she's doing Elf on the Shelf. I mean, if she is, I'll probably jump in and do it. I mean, I'm grandma now. I have a little more time than I did back then. Let them go to work and do the heavy lifting, and I'm going to have fun. But I'm not going to stress myself out trying to keep up with everything. I don't know how people do it. So, and I'm not knocking it. I mean, I'm not. I think parents these days are wired differently than my parents were and I was. Like, things are just so different. But I remember, like, when I think of my favorite childhood memories, this is what they are. I don't remember what I got for Christmas. I mean, I vaguely remember having a kitchen set, like one of those play kitchen sets. I do remember that. I remember playing with it. But most of the time I was outside. I remember a really strong memory I have when I was a child is I remember one baby doll I got, and it wasn't for Christmas. I just got this baby doll. It was for my birthday. It was the last baby doll I received. So I was a little bit older. I was probably 9, and I think my mom thought I was too old to get baby dolls, but I wanted this baby doll. Baby Alive. Let me know if you remember that baby doll. Baby Alive. I don't know. I mean, I don't even think I played with it, but we were just getting ready to move across country, and I took it on the airplane. For some reason, I just needed that baby doll, and I think partly it's because my best friend had received the same doll, and it was something that connected us, because we said we're never going to lose sight of our friendship. We're never going to forget each other. We're going to be friends forever. But that was before the internet and cell phones, and I've never talked to her since. So, Stacy, if you're out there, hello. It's kind of funny. It's the memories I have aren't about the gifts that were under the tree, not at all. Now, I know I received a play piano, but I don't ever remember doing much with it. I remember stories that my parents told me, but I don't remember playing with it. Here's my fondest memory of Christmas. And I don't know why this sticks out in my mind, but I remember the glittery, the sparkly tinsel. Remember the tinsel we hung on the tree? Does anybody hang tinsel on the tree anymore? I remember the tinsel. I remember putting the tinsel on the tree, and I just loved that. I thought that was so cool. And then the shiny ball. Oh my gosh, this guy oh my gosh, he went really close to my truck. I'm in John's truck. This right here, he just went, oh goodness. Okay. Anyway, the glitz, the tinsel. I remember the tinsel and hanging that on the tree, and I remember the shiny balls. The little Christmas balls we hung on the tree. They're still around today, and I still like those. I don't know if tinsel, I guess tinsel's still around, but I don't ever see tinsel. And what a mess. But I think it's easier if you have a real tree and then you put that tinsel on there. But I think there's been some talk of it. I don't know, when you put it on a real tree and the animals try to get it, I don't know. I would think crows would really like tinsel. Like, I'm into crows right now. I'm in Colorado. We camp a lot. I'm really into crows for the last couple of years, and I'm thinking, I bet they love tinsel, but I don't know. Anyway, that I remember the tinsel. That's my big memory of the tree. And then I remember I have this. My dad used to make homemade fudge. And I remember him being home and making homemade fudge every year. And that was one of my favorite memories, is he'd make the old-fashioned fudge. As we got older, we made the millionaire fudge. My in-laws always did the millionaire fudge. I don't know if they did the old-fashioned fudge, off the Hershey can, the Hershey cocoa can, the cocoa powder. That's the fudge my dad always made. And to this day, it's a real treat. But I remember sitting at my fake little kitchen. I must have been 7 or 8, I guess, or I don't know how old I was, but I had my little record player and I was playing the singles records, because it was like a toy record. It was a small record player. I loved my record player. And I got that. I must have gotten that for Christmas one year, or a birthday. My birthday is the same month as Christmas, so I might have gotten that for my birthday. I don't know where I got that. I don't remember unwrapping that under a tree. I don't remember unwrapping gifts, although I know I received gifts. Oh, when I was older, I remember I was in high school, and I remember the glossy lips. Do you remember to this day, I still have good memories of these glossy lips. I don't know, they were shaped like a lip, these pucker lips. And you open it and there was lip gloss in there. And I remember the smell, and I remember, that's what in high school, I'd get makeup and things like that. I remember that. So those are the fun things I remember when I think of Christmas. I barely remember sitting down for a Christmas dinner, but I know we did that, but I don't remember. Like, I remember family being around. I remember that. I think we were always, sometimes we went and visited family, but oftentimes we were home Christmas morning. I remember the year we weren't home Christmas morning, and then my parents came up with this whole story about how Santa couldn't, so we got home, and my mom had quickly, I guess, Santa didn't, anyway, we got home and Santa couldn't wrap the gifts. There was no time to wrap the gifts. We'd been gone. And when we got home, there were gifts under the tree, but they weren't wrapped. I think what happened was one of Santa's elves, aka Mama, ran in the house real quick, is what happened, and she put the gifts under the tree real quick. But they weren't wrapped. So they told me that. That's when I started thinking, wonder what's going on here. There's something fishy going on. And I don't know, guys. That's the kind of stuff I remember. But I know we had really good Christmases. I have fond memories, but I don't know. I guess if we had an elf on the shelf back then, maybe I would remember it. I'm curious to ask my own kids, like, what do they actually remember about Christmas? Now, when I started raising my kids, I remember, now I look back, and what I remember about Christmas is Christmas morning was one of my favorite things. We come down the stairs, and they would be up. They'd always got up early, and they sorted their gifts. Santa always put them, kind of mixed them all up. But by the time John and I got up, they had already gone through all the gifts and sorted them in piles for my daughter, and piles for my son, and piles for me, and piles for John. But they never opened them. That was the rule. They weren't allowed to open them until we were all together, but they had them all ready. And they were sitting there waiting. that's fun. It's kind of like a tradition, even to this day, as now that we're all adults, it's kind of something because we're usually together for Christmas. I'm so grateful for that. But those are my memories. They're like simple memories. I don't have memories of like the flashy stuff. And now I go in or I watch like Hallmark. Our Christmases were definitely not perfect. But I don't know. I feel like Christmas comes down to two things that I think of when I think of Christmas, and I think of even the holidays. Thanksgiving it's about fellowship, and it's about hospitality. That's really what I want to, that's what I feel like what I like to do is just create a space for hospitality and fellowship. And, and we all, like I don't lose sight of the real, like I remember going to midnight mass once I met John and we got married, and I started going to midnight mass with his parents. I was raised Christian, so we went to church, but the midnight mass and the frankincense, the smell of frankincense, and walking out after mass and having the wassail. Remember the wassail? It's kind of like a hot apple cider drink. Now I do have fond memories of that. And I used to cantor and I used to sing at church quite a bit when I was a young mom. So I remember those were fond memories. I have, when I sit and think about it, I do, those memories start to unfold. I mean, I start to have more memories, like the memory pops are starting to come. So it's kind of nice to just sit back and think about that. What is it that what do I remember about all of that? It was simple, so simple things. And I think that's why it seems so magical. And now it's like I don't know. To me, it feels overdone, but I would be totally overstimulated. As that little girl that I was back in the 70s, I wouldn't know what to think about all that we have today. But then it'll be interesting, because I'm sure my parents said the same thing about my Christmas. Like, wow, my Christmas was so different than theirs. And our grandkids, I wonder what they're going to say about our Christmases compared to theirs. So anyway, I just thought I would talk about that because it's a holiday season. You wouldn't know it. I'm sitting here in the parking lot at Target. It is in the 70s. It's warm, and here it is like 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, and it feels like summer. I'm in my t-shirt and shorts today. It is hot here in Colorado, this is unusual for us. By now, usually where I'm at, we've had some moisture, but it's been dry. It's been a dry season so far, and it does not feel like fall. The colors, I guess, but usually by now, we've got those more crisp mornings, and we have moisture, and by now we've had snow. We don't have any of that. So I'm watching a lot of my friends, across the country getting snow, and some people are getting a lot of moisture, but we're not getting any. And it's hot, and I'm going into Target really just to get. Oh, I'm going to see if they have a Christmas shirt, because I have a Christmas party to go to. That's why I was thinking about this. Thanks for watching and hanging out with me today. I hope you're doing well. Take care, and let's keep on keeping on.